Can you hear my voice? Is it okay? Wonderful. So thank you very much for joining us today at this online workshop on public speaking skills with Raechele Lovell.
Hello.
Uh, Hello. Yes. Anyone? Hello. Hi. Hi. Thank you so much, Rachel. So this event is part of our Diverse Communities Thriving in Equity project. And once again, I would like to welcome you all who are joining us from different parts of the Waterloo region. So first, we want to, of course, acknowledge that the land on which we gather today is located on the Haldimand Tract land, and that was granted to the Haudenosaunee of the Six Nations of the Grand River and is within the territory of the neutral Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee people. And to kick off this event, I would like to just introduce myself. My name is Seville. I'm working full-time as a social planner at the region of Waterloo. I'm also the president of the Canadian Helpers Society. And to give a brief introduction about this organization, the Canadian Helpers Society is a Canadian-based nonprofit organization in Waterloo region. It aims to empower individuals from diverse backgrounds and to advocate for marginalized and vulnerable groups in our local community. In particular, our projects are directed towards youth and elderly populations, women and low-income families. We aim to promote well-being and reduce barriers such as racial inequity in the society that impact quality of life. And our today event, as I mentioned, is an online workshop on public speaking skills with Raechele Lovell. Thank you so much, Raechele, for being here. And it is supported by Waterloo Region Community Foundation, or abbreviation WRCF. And it's going to be a virtual 2-day public workshop. So today is the first day. And as I mentioned, it's taking place in our local neighborhood, Waterloo region. And its main goals are to empower women in need from diverse backgrounds, foster economic well-being and social inclusion while advancing racial equity in the region. To give a good introduction to our nice speaker, so Raechele Lovell has a very rich background in dance instruction and choreography. She received her diploma in the Performing Arts Diploma and vocal music, drama, and dance from the Randolph Academy. She currently works primarily as a dance instructor and choreographer. I don't know why I cannot say this word, choreographer, as well as acting, dancing, singing for theater, film and TV, and corporate commercial events. She aims to inspire youth to express themselves through the arts as a positive representation of who they are and who they can become. She aims to touch the lives of people from all walks of life and bring them together through artistic expression. Currently, she's the owner and executive artistic director at Diverse Works Dance Company. And it is an inclusive organization for creativity, growth, collaboration, development, and community hosting community hosting a diverse group of racialized artists where they engage in community performances, regional workshops, and professional development for Black, Indigenous, and other people of color dance artists. She's also the board chair of the Region of Waterloo Arts Fund. And thank you so much again, Raechele, for being here. And we are all with you. So to you, Raechele. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me and bringing me in. I'm really excited to join you all today. So I will give myself a brief introduction. Although thank you for that wonderful introduction. I don't know where you found all that information about me, but that is great. As mentioned, I'm Raechele Lovell. I'm the Executive Artistic Director from Diverse Works Dance Co., which is a company I founded here in the Waterloo region in 2021. And I started that company really because I had all these professional skills in the performing arts and a career in Toronto, but I was finding that I wasn't able to access the level of professional work that I was seeking in this region, particularly for a racialized woman, for a Black woman in an environment that I felt centered me and my voice. So I just created the space and I included my community into it, and away we went. But I wanted to talk about public speaking today because even though I'm a performing artist, I think we think about the public speaking skill as something that is reserved sometimes for performers or for people who do this every day in their job. But I really think that this is a skill that helps everybody, and it's something that's really, really important, particularly for immigrant folks, for newcomers, for global majority people who happen to be in the minority in this society. So welcome to everybody. I want to express my gratitude for you joining us today. Public speaking is like everything, practice makes progress, and you coming today is part of the practice that helps you to better your skills. So thank you for taking the time for that. I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen. And you all let me know if you are able to see this. Do we see the presentation there?
Not yet, but I think it's coming.
Okay, let's try again. I'm on two screens here, so sometimes it just gives me a little bit of trouble. This one. Do we see now?
Not.
No?
Yes,
How
do
about
you
now?
see? Maybe it's my, okay. I thought maybe it says me. Not yet. It's just like a black screen.
Strange.
It seems it is coming.
Okay. Let's try. I'm a co-host, right?
Let's see.
That might be it if I'm not.
Right.
Do we see us now?
Yes, we are seeing like a whiteboard.
Okay, that is not it. Last time, if it doesn't work, I'll just go ahead without it. Very odd. Do we see the presentation?
Yes, now we are seeing it. Yes.
Okay,
The workshop
perfect.
isn't.
Great. So, empowering voices, public speaking skills for newcomers. We did my introduction already. That's me. Ooh, this got kind of jumbled up. So, public speaking is a crucial skill that focuses and fosters on personal growth, career success, community engagement, and advocacy. Now, advocacy I find is really important in what we truly understand to be a white supremacist capitalist system. As people from the global majority, we often find that we need to advocate for ourselves in situations, and having the ability to articulate yourself is really important when you are advocating to reduce harm for yourself. It's not just about addressing audiences, it's a potent tool for sharing meaningful thoughts and stories. But why does it matter? Mastering public speaking aids in convincing others of your ideas, leading teams effectively, advancing in one's profession by articulating thoughts clearly and capturing the audience's attention. And public speaking empowers individuals to advocate for causes, to unite communities, and to influence positive change. That could be on a broad scale for your entire community. That could also be influencing your own self, advocating for that raise, successfully completing your job interview, being able to articulate yourself with your team. These are all really valuable skills that we need in order to be successful. Our common challenges. When newcomers and immigrants start making a new place, they often run into some unique challenges, especially when it comes to talking and communicating with others. Cultural differences is how we communicate, and it can pose some challenges such as varying rules for conversation volume, eye contact, and acceptable topics. So I think that there is some nuance to this conversation, but for me, in this society, in this region, in this country, I find that we need to be direct with our communication, but we can't be too direct or we might be deemed as aggressive. And so it's important to consider the tone of voice that you're using and the volume that you are using. One tactic that I like is that the more passionate I am becoming about a topic, or the more important I feel it is, the angrier or more frustrated I might feel, I tend to lower my tone of voice, sometimes even into a whisper. And if you have clear, direct eye contact and an open body position, I find that this can be a very effective tool for getting your point across while avoiding some of the language that might come along with having a raised tone of voice. We like to be very polite in this society, but that sometimes steals our power and our voice. So it's important that we're able to say what we mean while maintaining that tone. Now, nervousness, especially when speaking in a new language or in front of unfamiliar people, can intensify feelings of discomfort and anxiety akin to performing on stage without experience. So right now we're going to go through one of the simplest exercises that I can provide, and it works every single time. And it is as simple as taking a deep breath. So together, I want us to practice this, okay? We're going to take a breath in through our nose. We're going to take that for 3 seconds or 3 counts in through my nose. Very deeply. I'm going to hold for 3. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to exhale out of my mouth. Well, let's take an opportunity to practice that all together, okay? We're going to breathe in through our nose deeply for 1, 2, 3. You're going to hold for 2, 3, and exhale through your mouth, 2, 3. If we do this once, twice, ideally 3 times, we should feel that nervousness come out of our head and the top of our body, that buzzing feeling, and start to settle more down into our body. Removing this nervousness really helps us to articulate our point more clearly. Well, this is a tactic I like to use. I find that people will wait for you. If you come up for a presentation and you need to take that time, that 10, 15 seconds to breathe deeply before you start, people will respect that in most cases, and it does help you to center yourself more into your speech. So that's a nice tangible tool that I can give you. We can all do that in every language every time. Great. Now, language barriers further complicate communication, making it challenging to express thoughts and emotions accurately, resembling a game with unfamiliar rules. My tactic for this is to slow down and speak at the pace that feels comfortable for you. It's okay to take a moment searching for your language. I would also encourage the use of gestures. Sometimes speaking things in your mother tongue out loud before translating it into English can help you to hear the thought that you are trying to make and connect you to the language a little bit easier. I think in such a multicultural society as what we have here, we are the most multicultural region in the country. So I do find that there is a sensitivity. People do understand that we're all coming from different walks of life, and that it's okay that English isn't necessarily our first strength, as long as you are taking your time to articulate your point. I think some of the confusion and some of the nervousness comes in when we get worried about our own language barriers, and then we get stuck in that place of being in our head and not in our body. So again, this is where the breath can come back in, just giving your brain a chance to get that oxygen and really think about making those connections to the speech and calming your nervous system down. Is there any questions so far about any of this? Oh, okay, let's keep going. Every challenge, including cultural differences, nervousness, and language barriers, presents opportunity for growth and learning. Well, my favorite tagline is practice makes progress. The more you practice, the better you get. We're never striving for perfection. Perfection is a symptom of white supremacy. We don't need to be doing perfection. We only need to be doing progress. With patience, practice, and courage, these challenges can transform into stepping stones towards becoming a confident communicator and a resilient individual. Putting yourself in this situation all of the time, even though it's uncomfortable, you will get better at it. You will feel better about it, and it will make resilience in you to feel comfortable going into any situation. Next slide. Oh, something weird there. Okay. So building your confidence, I think, is the biggest piece of having effective public speaking skills. Overcoming your fear and finding your voice. Oh, again, I'm going to go back to the breath work. I think that using the breath is the biggest way that we can overcome our fear. Having fear of public speaking is very normal. It is a very vulnerable place to be, but using our breath can help us to feel like we are back in our body, calming our nervous system and allowing us to find that voice. Sorry, some of my slides are a little wonky here. Effective communication is, I don't know what the first one says, organizing your content, incorporating storytelling, using clear transitions, and concluding with an impact. So this is what I find is most important, is knowing your audience, practicing out loud, and visual aids like we're using here. So knowing your audience, what does that mean? That means, who am I talking to? If I am speaking to my boss in a corporate setting, might be different than if I'm speaking to a young child at a school. So understanding who you're talking to will allow you to tailor what you're saying to that audience. If I am speaking to, say I'm giving a presentation to a lecture at the university to engineering students, I understand that I might be able to use specific engineering terms quite easily and loosely in that room, and that they are going to understand probably what I'm saying. But I also need to consider, is this a first year class or a fourth year class? What information does that first year class have versus what does that fourth year class have? The language that I'm choosing is going to change based off of those audiences. It's now, if I take that presentation to a kindergarten class, I'm not going to be able to use the same terms that I am with the 5-year-olds. I'm going to have to change the way that I'm speaking. So this does require some thought ahead of time, but it's also okay to look in the room and look around. Who do I have here in this room? You can ask questions to people, get as much information as you can, and that's going to help you to determine how you're speaking. Well, if I have a group of 5-year-olds, I'm not going to say, okay, everybody get your pencils ready and we're going to go ahead with the whiteboard, get out your calculators, right? I'm going to say, okay, kids, let's get into a circle, and I'm going to change the way that I am using my tone of voice, my eye contact, and even my body language. So I got a little taller. I made it clear that I'm the dynamic person in the room. That's going to help the children to see that I'm in charge, right? If I'm saying, okay, kids, get your pencils and let's go, the children are not going to feel that direct communication. So it's important that I'm providing that eye contact, that my body language is confident. That means opening myself up, lifting my chin, putting my shoulders back. And this is something that, going back to fear, you can do even if you don't feel it. Confidence is something that you can fake it. You can pretend. Nobody knows the difference if you are pretending or if you are truly confident. So these little tricks of raising my shoulders, lifting my chin, opening my chest up, allow the audience to receive me as more confident than if I'm closing myself off, if I'm avoiding the eye contact. Now, of course, we have people in our society who are neurodivergent. That means that direct eye contact, that tone of voice, it might be more difficult and challenging. So having an understanding and an appreciation for that is important also. But for the most part, I feel that these are the rules of society: to look people directly in the eye, to open up your body language so that they feel open to the communication, and it seems like you are in charge of your own voice. So engaging delivery, voice modulation, as we've spoken about. Modulation just means, how am I changing my voice, right? Am I speaking very directly? You, there, bring me that. That's very direct, but it's not necessarily going to feel caring to somebody. So I have to think a lot about my tone of voice. Hey, you over there, would you mind bringing that to me? That's a different direction, even though I've said the same thing. So really thinking about that tone of voice and what you want to get across. This, I find, is especially important when we are dealing with power structures. If we are in a situation with the police, if we are in a courtroom, if we are speaking to a teacher at the school, anywhere where the power isn't even, where there is an imbalance of power, it's especially important to consider the tone of voice that you're using so that it is not misinterpreted. People can't hear the tone instead of the words that you are trying to say, right? If I say, I love you, it's not going to be received the same as I love you, right? So that is the most important thing, is not just the words that we're using, but the tone of voice that we are choosing. Again, as we've just talked about, the body language. If I'm closing myself, people are not going to feel open to what you have to say. So it's important that your body points towards the folks that you are talking to. In a group setting, this means I might need to change my body to make sure that it faces everybody in the room, so everyone in the room feels included. I'm going to try to make that eye contact with everybody in the room so that people feel included. If I shut myself away and I'm not really looking and I'm closing my body language off, we're not going to feel like I'm talking to you anymore, right? That's uncomfortable. It feels like you're eavesdropping in a conversation that you're not meant to really hear. So this is the big thing. And this is something I would encourage us to practice. Go into the mirror, look at yourself. Am I open or am I closed off? And I think we don't notice oftentimes how closed off we are. We sit at our desks, we sit on our phones, right? We have our heads down all the time. We're always hunched over. We don't notice necessarily that we're giving this body language. So really thinking about, how can I roll those shoulders back and just open myself up, even in my back body, all the space that's behind me. How do I open my shoulders up and open my back space up so it seems that people can receive me? The other tip is engaging with technology. Now, I know we're on the fence about this. We have different feelings about this. I find the technology to be an excellent tool. If you don't feel strong about your speech, your communication skills, your English, go into ChatGPT. Say, this is what I want to say. Write it in grammatically correct English for me, and you can generate that in 5 seconds flat. So the technology is a good tool. My personal opinion is that it's a tool that we should be using. Yeah, you can take what you want to say. You can also record what you want to say, upload it into your technology and say, tell me about this. What needs to change, right? Practice with your friends over Zoom. You have a job interview coming up tomorrow. Have somebody who can sit on the other side of the computer and pretend to interview you so you can hear yourself out loud, so you can figure out what you need to do in your computer to make things work. That brings us back to confidence, right? When we feel confident, we are going to communicate at our most clear. All right. Okay, so before we move ahead, I'm going to ask, does anybody have any questions so far? Shane, yep.
Go
Great.
ahead, Seville, you have question?
No, I want to just emphasize that there is one question. Yeah.
Yeah, this is my personal experience when somebody is new in Canada. Not easy to have confidence.
Yes.
Yeah, even if you are pretending that you have confidence, really it is hard
Yes.
because
Yes.
all environment saying you can't have confidence. So just my personal experience.
Yes. Yes. I think the society, it almost gaslights us into feeling this, right? Like, you should be grateful that you're here, like, figure out your place. Like, a lot of us newcomers, we really tiptoe around things a lot. We don't want to get in trouble, right? We don't want to rock the boat. We're just trying to figure out where our place is. Again, I'm going to go back to pretending, fake it till you make it. And as a teacher, I tell this to my students all the time, that your brain, you can trick your own brain. Humans are very smart people. This is our supercomputer, and we have to program it ourselves. So if you are pretending to be confident regularly every single day, your body can't actually tell the difference between that real confidence and that fake confidence in your brain. There will become a point where there's just a switch that goes off and you believe your own confidence. So it's uncomfortable. There is a lot of fear. You won't feel good about it at first. This is normal. So it's something that I encourage you to push through, even though you might feel like, I'm not sure about this. I promise you, it will come with practice and with progress. So just to reiterate those points again of really how we can get that into our body, the more uncomfortable you are, the more you need to breathe. The more fear you have, the more you need to breathe. Yeah, that oxygen is our superpower. When you stop breathing, you stop living. The only way to live is to continue to breathe. Yes. So we breathe unconsciously, something that just happens, but we can flip that switch in our brain to breathe consciously. That kind of resets our nervous system. It reminds our brain, oh, yes, I need to be present right now, and I need to really feel what's happening. So going to that breath is the most important. Then really opening the body language, right? The brain reads the body signals too. So if you are closing yourself off, the messages that are being sent up your spine back to your brain is that you are not confident. So you can trick yourself into finding that confidence by literally just putting your shoulders back and opening your chest up. It's this T zone. Think of it as a T, right? Is your T closing or is your T opening like this? That I find is the really most important thing. And we're going to make mistakes along the way, and that's okay. But I think in this society, you can count on people to tell you that you made that mistake and you can redirect that mistake. And that is totally fine too. What I think is most important is that we practice. And so I'm going to give us an opportunity to do that now. Shane, do you have another question?
Yes, yes. Even in the movies like Sopranos, if you look at the boss, the mafia, but all the time they are doing like this. They are,
That's right.
yeah, exactly what you are saying. It is coming naturally. If
Yeah.
the Sopranos, if you like the other bosses, they showed just they have confidence.
Yeah. Yeah. And it really does go back to that stance that it's human psychology. We see that as a boss position. And there's a lot of exercises, like I think of the superhero exercise, right? I'm going to put my hands on my hips like this. I'm going to open my chest up. I'm just going to like open myself up to the universe, right? That builds confidence in the body. Just the confidence to stand that open for 1 minute. It really builds confidence in the body. That confidence in the body translates to your voice. If your body is not confident, your voice cannot be confident. Now, I think this is particularly challenging for women, who come from places where our voices are silenced and where we are told that we should not speak up. This here, people might tell you differently, but I'm here to tell you this society is not it, that women do have a place to speak directly to power here, and that we should not shy away from doing that. It's really the only way forward. It's the only way to get what you want. If you don't ask for what you want, you will not receive it. Nobody is going to hand you anything. You have to demand what you need, and it's not rude. It's not disrespectful to say, I need this. I need that report by 4 p.m. Thank you. We're still going to be kind. We're still going to be gracious, right? We're still going to be patient, but we can be direct. Sometimes this is misinterpreted, but that doesn't mean that you're wrong for being direct. It just means that you're challenging power structures sometimes. But this system is built off of colonialism. It's not built for everyone, even though we all live here. So it is important that we continue to challenge that to create space for ourselves. The generations of immigrants who have come before have done this challenging of systems of power, and that's how we've arrived where we are today. So I think as long as you are being respectful, and you're being confident in what you have to say. If you're saying, I think I might need that report by 4 o'clock, if you don't mind, please, right? I don't think the person is going to feel like they have to give you the report by 4 o'clock. So saying, hello, I need the report by 4 o'clock, please and thank you. Direct, clear, respectful, polite, but the message is clear. You know what I need. It's the report. It's 4 p.m. That's all. Do you have any questions? I'm happy to help. No problem. So this is what I find is most important. Same thing with, let's talk about job interviews, right? It's another position where you need to demand what you want. You cannot go in and say, well, if you would like to maybe please give me the job, right? I'm closing my body language off. I'm asking for permission. If you want, I could, I guess, right? That's not going to work. You need to be able to say, I'm a great employee. And say it with confidence. Open my body language up. I'm going to work really hard. As long as you believe what you're saying, it will ring true to the person, right? I can show up at 9 a.m. every day. Absolutely. No problem. Right? That's very clear. You need to know what your skills are, right? You can't say, I think I could do it. Maybe I could show up. I think I can type on my computer. No, I have typing skills. I've done this before. If you don't have those skills, I can learn that skill. No problem. I'm happy to take that on. Oh, I can sign up for a workshop. I'm actually a really quick study, right? You know what? It takes me some time to learn things, but I am happy to take my extra time at home to do that. I'm really dedicated to getting this job, and whatever it's going to take, I'm happy to do that for you. That is such different language than asking for permission. Because if you ask and say, I think maybe if you don't mind, I would really appreciate the job. And the next person comes and says, I want this job. If you're the hiring manager, who are you going to give that job to? Right? You're going to give it to the person who seems like they really want it. Now, you might really, really want it, but you have fear. You don't have confidence, and you're afraid to speak truth to power. And so you shut your own self down and take yourself out of that opportunity because somebody else was more direct. So I think that this is where the challenge is finding that line of being direct while maintaining the respect. is it's when we take the respect and the kindness away from the direction that it becomes a problem. So I think as long as you are coming from a truthful place, right? I don't want to lie. I don't want to show up at my job interview. I'm not going to interview to be a mechatronics engineer and I am an artist who doesn't know anything. I've never taken a calculus class. I don't know the laws of physics. Like I'm not, that's not going to work, right? If I'm trying to be an accountant and they say, okay, well, talk to me about the tax code, and I have no idea, I can't sit there and fake my confidence. That's not truthful. So I can pretend my confidence, but I can't pretend my job skills, right? I need to be honest about where I'm at. And that's really important. So what I want to do is give us each a chance to practice. So I'm going to ask us to take the skills and tools that we've learned. Hopefully you've written some of them down. Your reminders are your breath, your open body language, and your direct tone of voice with your eye contact, okay? So I'm gonna type into the chat and I'm gonna ask each of us to take an opportunity to do this one by one. You're gonna say your name. You're gonna say, I'll do an example. Hi, I'm Raechele. My favorite color is purple and I live in Kitchener, Ontario. Okay, so you're gonna say your name, your favorite color, and your city. That's all. Your name, your favorite color, and your city. Your job is to speak directly to the camera, to open your body language, to be truthful. If you get nervous, you're going to take a deep breath, okay? And we're going to practice using an open, straightforward tone of voice. The only way forward is through. Practice makes progress. If you feel uncomfortable with this, you're in the right place, because this is where you're going to gain those skills to help you to go out and do this, not for the first time in your job interview or in your presentation or in an argument with someone where you're trying to get what you want. Let's take this time to do it now. Everyone grab a sip of water. Take a second to settle into your body and think about what it's going to do. And I'm just going to go across my screen as I see it. Okay. So then Shane, I'll start with you.
My name is Shane or Shapur. I live in Montreal, and my favorite color is blue.
Great. Yes, great. So we got all three of the points. I got the clear eye contact. I heard what was said. That's really important. So good job. How did it feel?
Good, very good.
Good. Okay. I'm gonna go across. Is it Elna? Elna is beside me. ELNA. Yeah, go ahead. You're up.
My name.
We just have some feedback there on you.
I-unmute mo na siya dapat. I-unmute sa na siya dapat. Bigla sa lahat. Igna nga, na yung pangan.
So I would like you to say your name, your favorite color,
Ayan na.
and your city.
My favorite color is blue.
And tell us your name. That's okay. She has feedback. It's tricky. Okay, let's go over to Jay Katrin.
Maybe some have a connection problem.
Yeah.
It seems there is some connection, but is it okay to do volunteer? We can do it.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Jay, I saw you, but I didn't hear you. Yeah. But thank you. I see your body language is open, so this is great. Yeah. Okay. Let's do volunteers. But I do want everybody to go.
No problem. I can go. I can be volunteer.
Okay, great.
Okay, it is hard for me okay. Direct eye contact is very hard for me, but
It's tricky.
it's really hard. Like I can do the other things that you mentioned, but eye contact, I'm always looking here, there, and people, I'm like, I swear, like even I understand, like I really feel bad for the person who is sitting in front of me, but at the same time, I have no idea of, I think it's like for concentration, and it's of course the shyness, and of course being ashamed of being judged, I think by others is like, oh, I'm looking here, there, but I'm like, I swear I'm just here.
Yeah, no, it is a shyness thing, right? It's an avoidance.
100%. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like I think we all have this like anxiety of being judged in society.
Yeah.
And the one thing like I wanted to add, like that helped me, I don't know how much helpful it could be for others, is like just think like nobody is perfect to not be judged. Like if you look even around the room that you feel that anxiety, you can say at least one thing about each person that you think it's not perfect. So no one is perfect not to be judged. So everyone has something. So I'm like, it's okay. Like
That's
I know
right.
two languages. It's more or less English is, but it's still I know two language. For example, more than the person who I'm just fear of being judged from. So I'm like, it's okay, but it's really hard. The eye contact is hard, but yeah, I can
It's
start.
hard. But you know what? You can do hard things.
Absolutely, you have to push the boundaries. Be
Take
out
a
of your
breath.
comfort zone.
Use your
Yes,
breath to settle into your body when you find that these things are
exactly.
going on. Yeah.
So my name is Seville. I'm living in Waterloo, Ontario, Canada. My favorite color is purple, and I'm happy to be here. Anything else that I have to answer?
You did great. And then you
Yay!
questioned yourself.
Yes, I
You
tried my
did it.
best.
And then you questioned yourself. Did you guys notice that? Yeah. That's not direct.
Okay.
You did it direct and then you apologized for it. You did great. Yeah, I want you to do it one more time. Take a breath again, because that let you, I saw it, you dropped into your body, but then as you got further along, you stopped breathing. So
It
it's
is right.
okay.
That's
Take
right.
your breath, say, I live in Waterloo. Take the
Yes.
breath again. My favorite color is purple.
Favorite
Take the
color
breath
is
again. Take
purple.
your time. Yeah, we have time for you.
My name is Seville. My favorite color is purple, and I'm living in Waterloo, Ontario.
Great. Did that feel better for you?
Much better.
Yeah,
I think when
yeah.
you said that people, they don't understand when you fake, like when you fake this, you know, the self, I don't know what to call it. Yeah, whatever. Like they don't notice that you are faking your posture, like you are faking your confidence. So it is, I think it's the most crucial point for me that I'm always like, oh, people are gonna notice that I'm really not that confident.
No,
So like,
no.
no, nobody's gonna notice.
They're gonna notice you're not that confident from faking your confidence, or they're gonna notice you're not that confident from not having confidence.
Yes.
Either way, you're
Yes.
projecting that out there.
100%.
So
100%.
you may as well try that side of pretending. Maybe some people notice, but maybe some people don't. And the more you practice that, the more you're going to get comfortable with that uncomfortable feeling of like pretending. Yeah.
100%. Wonderful, wonderful point. I'm gonna use all of that. I'm gonna
Great.
tell my
Yeah,
colleagues
great.
to use them. Like even like among my, okay, I don't know how much time I'm taking from you. I'm sorry. So from my
No, we have time for this.
wonderful. So from my previous job, I had always hard times. Like we were all immigrants, by the way, but I had hard times. And now I'm with people who are mostly white. I'm having more confidence. And when I'm looking back, I'm like, oh, the first job that I had, they were all men, which I didn't notice. I was like, they were all men and I was the only woman. And at the time I was like, why I don't have this confidence? I have no idea. Like we are all immigrants, like we cannot speak English really well, but still I don't have that. And now I'm not, oh, they were all men. Probably there was something, probably, I don't know. I don't want to blame them also at the same time, but I was like, oh, now I'm having like I'm with white people, but the atmosphere, like the I don't know, the vibe that you're getting from team, because right now my team is like very open, so very open to any like the orientation, very open to where you, like your background is, like they really don't care. They are just like, oh, like promoting like the diversity that you have to speak up. Like my manager is perfect. So I think it's like it belongs to also your team is really crucial in building your confidence, but at the
Yeah.
same time you have to like really push your boundaries wherever you are. So you
Yeah.
have to learn this skill. But yeah.
I think especially in the workplace, there is a demand for this sort of pushing of the boundaries. And of course, it comes down to the environment. In an environment where you don't feel safe or you don't feel comfortable, it's going to be extra difficult to use these tools. But again, we can do hard things.
100%, 100%, absolutely. No, you
For
have to put your
sure. For
boundaries
sure.
up.
Great job. No, that's all really important. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Who wants to go next?
I can go if you want.
Yes, please.
So, hi, my name is Sulan, and I reside in Waterloo, and my favorite color is black. As you can see, because who doesn't like black?
Great. Yes. So the thing I loved about this one is we got a little personality out of it too. And I think this is what comes when we are able to achieve that confidence. Then we can really bring ourselves into our conversation. So that was awesome. Thank you so much.
No problem.
All right. Who wants to go next?
I could go next.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Shall I start?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Nina and my favorite color is pink. And I am from Toronto, just like the other beautiful faces.
Wonderful. Excellent. I got the clear eye contact. I got the clear tone of voice, very direct, felt polite and respectful. Awesome.
Yeah, public speaking is something that I'm really passionate about. That's why I usually do eye contact when speaking.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it does take some practice. So thank you for reiterating that.
Okay.
Awesome. All right, who's up?
I guess I can go next.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Saba. My favorite color is green, and I also live in Waterloo, Ontario.
Perfect. So I'm going to use yours as an example for something if you don't mind.
Sure.
This is something I do this nonstop. So it's not just you, it's a lot of us. This the upswing at the end of the word. So I heard it on green. My favorite color is green. Yeah. This adds a question mark. So it's a generational thing. I think a lot of us millennials do it, but in society in general, and particularly, again, I'm going to pick on us women, we do this a lot, right? It's a way of avoiding being direct. It's a way of diminishing ourselves just a little bit unconsciously, just a little bit, right? We're adding that question mark. I'm from Kitchener and my color is purple. And right, I'm adding that question. So I want you to try again, and I want you to tell me your favorite color is green. It's green. So we need to think about the ends of those sentences. Am I going, it's green? Am I going up in my modulation, in my tone of voice? Or am I maintaining my directness? It's green. I want to think of it like it's a button that I'm pushing, that end word of my sentence, right? I live in Kitchener, Ontario. I live in Kitchener, Ontario. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and give it a try.
So my favorite color is green, and I live in Waterloo.
Did you hear it? One more time. Look, take your breath, look right at the camera, and think of it as a button that you're going to push on that green.
My favorite color is green.
Awesome. Yes, exactly. Does that make sense to all of us?
Yeah.
It's one of those ways where we don't notice we're taking our own power away a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. And it's challenging because I think especially conversationally, Like if I'm with my girlfriends having tea, we're all like da 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 da, and then da 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 da, right? We're all speaking to each other in that tone of voice, and so it gets stuck, right? And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I think when we are speaking, public speaking directly to an audience, it's really important that we hit those punches, we hit those buttons. So thank you for that. That's really important to put into the group. That was awesome. Really good job. All right, who's going to be next?
Raechele, I'm so sorry. So are we going to have other like presentation, or is it just going to be end? I'm just worried about the time because we need to end.
I just want us to practice. That's
wonderful. Okay.
the biggest part. Yeah. I think I can give you theory until you're all blue in the face, but if you don't try it.
Absolutely. 100%. No, because I'm just worried that some people might leave at 10:30. That is why I'm just, about the time, but it's perfect as you plan.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we still have a few of us to go. So yeah, I think we have enough time to get us all in. If you're really, really uncomfortable, you don't want to do it, no pressure, you don't have to, but I encourage you all to give it a try. It's a nice, quick way to practice. And then you can also take it, like go into your mirror in your bathroom in your private space and give it a try, right? Practice with your friends that you feel the most comfortable with. Practice with your mom or your parent or your grandma or your child, right? The kids can be the most, critical and direct, and we need that from them, right? They're going to tell you like I didn't get it. So kids are great to practice on. They're very honest. Yeah. Okay.
It's right. 100%. Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Rachel, I have one question. It just came to my mind.
Please.
Do you have any recommendations about the diets before having a presentation or something, like anything? For example, don't drink coffee or something. Do you have anything to mention or add this to your diet? Like to just
I think it's such a personal choice, but water and breath are like our lifeblood, right? Those are the things, if we don't have that, we will die. We need those things. So have your water. I find especially like having it nearby, it's okay to take a sip of water in a presentation, right? When your voice starts getting dry, give it water. When you start getting nervous, or if you forget what you're talking about, like you get off track, I'm just going to take, right? That sip of water gives you a second for your brain, second to think and breathe and get back on track. So I always suggest having your water bottle nearby. I personally don't love to eat a big meal right before my presentation. I just find that it sits really heavy in my stomach and then I feel kind of weighed down and it doesn't contribute to my open body language, right? It just makes me feel like, well, I want to sit in my chair. But I also don't like to go on an empty stomach because then I just feel like I can't focus. I don't have the nutrition that I need in my body. So I try to say I have a 10 a.m. presentation. I would try to eat something light, maybe around 9 a.m. Give my body time to digest, drink my water. I do think it's really important to always ground ourselves. So before, say I'm on a stage giving a presentation, before I even walk on that stage, I'm going to be backstage doing that breath for myself, right? Spreading my toes on the floor, feeling the earth underneath of me, like just feeling myself in my body. This nervousness, it's our somatic system. It's our nervous system starting to go haywire. And that's where our brain starts to go out the window. So calming the nervous system is the biggest key component to being successful at speaking out loud. It's how we take the voice from in our throat out through our face into the world, right? And giving that voice time to, like, sound waves are tangible. They need time to get out of our mouth into that person's ear, through the ear, into the brain waves to be processed. So it's okay to take our time. People need that time actually to hear what you're saying, not just like in a thinking sense, but literally like the sound waves need time to travel to people's ears, to go inside of them, right? So
absolutely. Yeah, me from nervousness, sometimes I speak so fast. I'm like, I don't know even what I'm talking about. I'm like, and then people are like, what Can you please repeat? I'm like, oh my God, again, I have to repeat, and I'm already anxious about it.
We all do this. We are all humans. We all have human behavior. Like our brains are programmed like this. And when I stop breathing, I'm going to speed up.
Mm.
When I get more passionate, I'm going to speed up. When I get frustrated, I'm going to get more loud, right? So
Yeah.
it's self-awareness is the biggest part of it. Being able to hear yourself, I'm getting faster. I need to take a breath now, right? Like I'm not clear anymore. I must be nervous about this. You notice your hands start shaking. Oh, I'm nervous about this, right? What is the tactic? I need to take a breath. Yeah. Obviously, if you're lactose intolerant, don't drink milk before your presentation, right? If you know coffee makes you jittery, don't have a coffee. I need coffee before my presentation, or I'm gonna feel like sluggish, like I'm addicted to caffeine. I need coffee all the time. I drink like 3 coffees a day. So I'm going to need my coffee. Someone else who rarely ever has coffee, drinking an extra large Starbucks right before your presentation, probably not the best idea, right? You don't want to do anything that puts you off your homeostasis. You want to be in your most natural state of being. You're doing something that throws you off, that's too different, like eating a food you've never tried, unless you're super adventurous and that brings you joy, might not be the best choice for that moment. Maybe you leave it until after. But we have 2 minutes left. I just want to give anyone else a chance who would like to give it a try for feedback to say their name and speak their voice into the circle.
Maybe Monette? Do you want to? Yeah. We are waiting for you. Go ahead.
I'll try. Okay. Hello. My name is Monette May, or you can call me Monette. My favorite color is pink also, and I live in Toronto.
Great.
That's all.
Yep. You hit all the marks, you did all the stuff. Absolutely. So it's that simple. It's okay. And little things are going to come along, right? I hear a lot of us with that's a nervous tick. I do it too. We all do it, right? You know what your name is. So that is not, what's my name again? Right? That is the stalling. But that's okay. That can be your chance to breathe. As long as the whole thing isn't my name is right, like that's not gonna work. But a couple people might tell you differently. A couple I don't mind. That for me is I saw you, take a breath during that so I'm totally fine with it. I think it's great. Okay, 1 minute left. Do I have any other questions from the group?
Okay, so in line with that, how do we stop or perhaps stop or avoiding using fillers, especially when public speaking?
It takes practice. I think having something prepared ahead of time is really valuable. If you have cue cards, if you have a speech presentation that you've practiced with a kid, with your mom, with whoever, I feel that helps the brain to memorize the speech patterns, and that's going to take some of that filler away. I also think being honest and transparent with the audience is your most valuable tool and skill. So if you get off, it's okay to say, I'm a little bit off right now. Just give me 1 moment while I get back on track, right? Instead of floundering through, well, I just, blah, blah, and then I'm saying 15 words while I'm trying to get back onto the right cue card.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's okay to say, oh, I seem to have mixed up my cue cards. Just give me 1 moment. Or my favorite thing is everyone take a deep breath while I get organized, right? As long as you're giving the audience something to do or something to think about, everyone take 30 seconds to think about what you're going to eat after this, right? Take that moment while they're thinking to get yourself organized.
It's about strategies, yeah, with your audience.
Yeah, it's about having those strategies and going in prepared with those strategies, right? Telling yourself, if I get off track, I'm going to take a breath. If I notice that my tone of voice is getting too high and I'm speaking too fast and I'm saying too much stuff, I'm going to take a breath, right? If I notice my
Oh.
body language is getting small, I'm gonna open myself. So this is why coming to things like this is important, and practicing these skills. Even those of us that have them, we need to continue to practice them. I feel that I have these skills because I've been on stage using them since I was 6 years old. And it's not because I'm like smarter or more special or anything than other people. I just practice the skill every day. I speak to groups of students every day. And so I feel comfortable doing it every day because I do it every day. That's all.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, practice makes progress. Fake it till you make it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Rachel. It was really, really great. Personally, I will keep practicing until becoming perfect and perfect day by day. There is no end for being perfect, right?
Yeah, there's no perfect, only progress.
Yes, exactly, only progress. It is wonderful. And I will be in touch with you also, Rachel. And then I'm also working with the region of Waterloo, as I mentioned at the beginning. We are working with children and youth, and I think they would need you. They would need to hear this. So yes,
Thank you
our
so
future
much.
generation. Thank you so much. So it was wonderful and engaging event. Thank you so much, Rachel. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. You did wonderful. Yes, round of applause. Wonderful. Once again, I just wanted to say that this event is part of our Diverse Communities Thriving in Equity project, which is funded by the Waterloo Region Community Foundation. So we can gather today to support our community across Waterloo Region. Thank you so much, everyone, and Rachel, once again, and enjoy your weekend. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
9:30, please.
Yes.
Yeah, tomorrow 9:30.
Tomorrow at 9:30, we are here again.
Another session. Great. Thank you very much,
Wonderful.
Rachel.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thanks,
guys.
everyone.
Bye.
Thanks for coming.
Thank
Take care.
you.
you.